With us to discuss the Holodomor, along with the ways in which it is being commemorated in the present day, is Orest Zakydalsky, Senior Policy Advisor with the Ukrainian-Canadian Congress. Sir, welcome to Forum Daily.
Thank you.
So let's start with the Holodomor itself, sir. We mentioned that this was a deliberately planned famine, but give us a picture of how exactly it impacted the people of Ukraine.
So in 1932-33, the Soviet regime murdered millions of people in Ukraine. The method they used was starvation. Basically, all the food in Ukraine was taken away. The borders were closed, and people in villages and towns starved to death. Any food they had was discovered by the Soviet secret police and taken away. And so now, in the parts of Ukraine where the famine happened, I mean, there basically isn't any families that don't have some personal connection to loss or have people in their generations who somehow survived the famine. So it was one of the terrible genocides of the 20th century.
And I'm sure a lot of our viewers might find it shocking that this was a government campaign. So what were the Soviet government's so-called reasons behind this planned famine in Ukraine?
Well, the reasons that the Soviet government gave for this campaign was to collectivize agriculture and to make the countryside produce for the state rather than for the people who produce the food. That was the ostensible reason given, but the real reason, of course, was to destroy the Ukrainian nation and its quest for independence, and to turn the Ukrainian people into so-called Soviet citizens, Soviet people. And so in order to do that, not only was the countryside and towns starved, but also the clergy was executed, the intelligentsia was destroyed, any leaders of the independence movement were killed even before the famine started. So it was really an assault by the Soviet state on the idea of the Ukrainian nation and on Ukrainian statehood.
And there was a time when the USSR denied that the Holodomor even occurred. So how did the world learn that the Holodomor did in fact occur?
Basically, the world learned about the Holodomor from people who emigrated after World War II to the West. And so survivors of the Holodomor started to tell that story in the late 40s, early 50s. And the more time passed, obviously, the more people testified about it, the more information came out about it. There were also a few journalists in the Soviet Union at the time, like Gareth Jones and Rhea Kleinman, who reported on what was going on at the time. This was, of course, denied and covered up by the Soviet state, as you said. But as time passed, more and more evidence was gathered in the West. And then when the Soviet Union fell apart, people in Ukraine who lived through the famine testified about it, and of course, archives in Ukraine with documentation were opened. So it's really been the last sort of 30 years that more and more information has come out about it.
All right, sir, just about a minute left here, but bringing this back to Canada's connection to this incident, Canada implemented the Holodomor Memorial Day on the 4th Saturday of November in 2008. So in what ways is this Memorial Day being observed here in Canada, sir?
So like every year, communities are gathering at their churches. There are many places in Canada where there are Holodomor monuments. So the Ukrainian-Canadian Congress put together a list of where people can go tomorrow and Sunday to commemorate and mark the anniversary. So if people can go to our website, which is ucc.ca, there are many communities that are organizing events. There are also online lectures, movies, documentaries, that kind of thing, as we are still observing COVID protocols. So please do go to our website, ucc.ca, and see where you can join commemorative events in your community.